Start the record. All right. Welcome back to cnjreig.com. I'm Scott dot com, cnjreig.com. I'm Scott, your host.
I'm Tabitha, one of the other hosts.
And today we have with us Derrick Logan from Vylla Homes, one of our vendors. But we wanted to bring him on here so he could talk not about being a vendor, but a little bit so people get familiar with him and what Vylla Homes really has to offer to people. So
Yep.
thank you for joining us, Derrick. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, because people don't get to see that much.
Yeah, I think there's a hidden message there.
Now we want to get to know you.
Okay,
It's always good. People do business with who they know, like, and trust.
Right.
yes. Okay, so let's talk about me. All right. Well, as most people should know, I'm a licensed real estate agent, and I'm licensed in New Jersey. I'm also licensed in New York, so that's kind of interesting for me. Being that I've my entire career has been either out of New York or New Jersey. So I've been in the real estate business, and not as a licensed real estate agent, but just in the business in general. I've been in the real estate business for over 30 years, um, in various positions within this industry. So I think I basically started in real estate. Wow. I started, it's funny because actually started in the moving business. And obviously, you can see the correlation between moving
Mhm.
and real estate. Um, when I was in the moving business, I actually worked with probably most of the real estate community within New York and New Jersey. I was very well known for moving clients. So my referral base, actually, I started out in the business just taking phone calls, and people calling in and asking for estimates. So I would do the estimates on the phone. And then we would send somebody out, most likely to their home, if they did not book with us on the phone. That's how I started. Into my career, I actually stopped doing anything, picking up any kind of phones, because I didn't have to. So all of my business was referrals, and I definitely was one of their top producers in the moving industry. So I wound up getting involved in REOs and foreclosures. So how I got into that from moving is the fact that I one day made a call into Fannie Mae, and it was a cold call. It was at the end of the day. But I happened to get the legal department on the phone, and I told them, I talked to them about the fact that our moving company also specialized in doing eviction moves. Now, we really didn't at that time. We really didn't at that time, and we did a few of them along the way. But I saw a vertical market in that, and
Yeah.
in seeing that vertical market, what I did was, with that phone call, they were very interested. They had to use movers if you're going to do any type of foreclosure evictions.
Right.
With that being said, they set up a meeting with me, and in that meeting, we were able to put together one of the first contracts in the state of New Jersey and the state of New York, and then they included us also in Pennsylvania. So we were doing all of the moves. As a matter of fact, all of the REO agents, when they had to schedule an eviction, they had to call us. So
So
we were
you're a
doing we
true.
were doing all of the evictions back then, and and that led to a contract with Freddie Mac. Wind up getting EMC Mortgage. What These are names from the past,
Right.
you know,
Right.
but and then almost everybody else followed. So anytime that there was an eviction, we were probably the go-to people for it. We had the experience. We knew what to do. We knew how to interact with people that were in a situation as bad as having to be evicted. As a matter of fact, a lot of them were very lucky that we did it opposed to anyone else, because we did it professionally. We did it professionally, but that was what we did. So in looking at that, it was just myself. I had myself and an assistant that we worked with, and that I worked with for years, and we built out a secondary company. We decided to separate the two companies, and in separating the two companies, we decided that it was best to form a new company. And that's where we came up with a company called REO Allegiance. The thought process was this, you guys. If we're doing the eviction, we're on site. We're already doing the move. Once you move out personal property, now the property has to be cleaned out. So we're already there to clean it out. We can, another service is boarding them up. In bad areas, you have to secure the properties, changing the locks. So we provided the locksmiths. So we took all those services and put it under one roof. So I was doing moving, and I was well known in the moving industry, but then I was doing the REOs as well. So the REO business really kind of grew to the fact that we were probably doing somewhere, I mean, at our height, we were doing 30, 40 million a year from just myself and an assistant. So it started with myself and an assistant. It grew, I think at our height during the crash, we probably had to gear up to about 100 employees.
Yeah.
So, and that was unique.
Yeah.
Well, so you're a true story of, as they say, the Cinderella story, fake it till you make it. So you fake that first interview.
I think that first interview.
And you went from that to there. So it does work.
Yep,
it does work. And you know something, I've seen it all over the years. Thousands upon thousands of evictions. I've seen anything that you can think of, that has anything to do with foreclosed properties. I've seen it, and that definitely took off. That took off to the point where we actually went national. So whatever we were doing locally, and we required our own movers and our own trucks, we realized that we didn't really need the trucks and the men and so forth, because we could subcontract this anywhere in the country. So of a lot of national preservation companies. There are quite a few of them. Safeguard. There's quite a few of them. MCS is another one.
Yep.
So those are So that is exactly what we did, and we duplicated that nationally. And
you were like one of the first ones.
I was one of the first ones. There were a few others. There was a few others at the same time, but we were definitely one of the first in the industry to even do this. Now, REO Allegiance is still around. Their company is now called First Allegiance, and they're doing exactly what we did back then, and how we built that company back then. So that company was built from my desk, and it was a true experience for me. So that led me after I separated from REO Allegiance or First Allegiance, then that led me to the real estate industry. So I got licensed in New York, and I got licensed in New Jersey, and I was trying to decide, well, who am I going to go? Which company am I going to join? So a reason I joined Vylla, which was back in that day, Carrington Real Estate Services, which happens to be the sister company, and we happen to be the sister company of Carrington Mortgage Services. And the reason I joined them is because Carrington was so well known, and I knew them from years back, but they were so well known in the REO and foreclosure space. And to this day, they still are. but we do know that there's a vacuum right now in these foreclosures. So we're not seeing what we're used to seeing. But when that does change, and if that does change, Vylla Home, which is actually Carrington Real Estate Services rebranded, is absolutely one of the top choices for this particular industry.
Awesome.
So that's my that's my background. And since then I've sold hundreds of REOs and regular real estate as well. You know, right now we're looking at more traditional real estate. The industry has changed. Foreclosures are down. When they come back around, we'll be ready. As a matter of fact, I got one to announce for you guys today, so I'll do that a little later. But
yeah, let's not put it out there yet.
let me open it up for you guys to give me some more questions.
So, I mean, obviously, you know the Rio, the REO industry very well.
Right.
You've been around it for 30 plus years, right? That's what I would say. So when you got into Vylla Homes, Carrington, and you got into Vylla, I see, like me, I consider you like a broker for them, not just like an agent, because you have a team of people that work for you directly and run the New York, New Jersey area. And I was just wondering, like, okay, so you do REOs and you're looking at traditional regular sales, right? My thing would be, one, you know the market space very well because you've been around it for 30 plus years. So whether it's an REO or traditional, it connects because people buy the REO and they have to resell it anyway. So
well, that's one way it connects, especially for investors. But it also connects for me. And I'll tell you, and the reason why it does is because with REOs, you run into so many different situations. In other words, you're solving you become very well versed at solving problems. Now, how that works in traditional real estate is that it just makes you a better real estate agent. There's a lot of things that you would not see on a traditional sale that you would see on an REO, but you can use that information and that experience on a regular traditional real estate property. So it is it just makes me better at it, it just makes me better at it, and it works for me. It works for me because I know where to go to get information. I know how, and I think everybody on our team knows how to run a deal. And you were talking about it being a broker. Well, I expect to be a broker sometime soon. So I'm taking the test for that sometime soon. But as an agent, I am allowed to have my own team of agents, and it's mainly my family. It's really my family.
Good.
That makes it easy. You know where to find them.
So the heart and soul of our team happens to be Andre. So his name's Andre Logan, and he's licensed in New Jersey. So good guy. Good guy.
Yeah, he is.
All around cool dude, as he says.
All around cool dude.
And you're awesome. I mean, we love both you guys. I mean, very much. So
absolutely.
And also on my team is my sister. Her name's Elizabeth Logan. Elizabeth is licensed in New York and about to be licensed in New Jersey. She lives here in New Jersey now. Actually, I sold her a house about 3 blocks away.
So we're going to see her soon at the events, just like we see you more often, right?
See her soon. She lives here. Yeah, I'll bring her with me at some point. I also have on my team my niece, who happens to be licensed. She's in the Bronx, New York. And then there's myself, and we call ourselves VyllaTeamNJ.com. That's how you get us, VyllaTeamNJ.com. And it's the A. Derrick Logan group team. Basically, it's family. It's family.
That's important because a lot of brokerages and people don't have family, they're just other agents and they just work together. But being family makes it more of a cohesive group.
Enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's
Yeah.
enjoyable.
Sometimes it gets frustrating because but it would get frustrating with anybody, you know, there's
Yeah.
always issues you got to overcome. So,
We're all human, so that's the
We're
way
all
it
human.
goes.
We're
so,
all human.
so
Mhm.
besides the experience and then the knowledge, you know, how could people like, how can investor, what can they do to work with you that would benefit them? Like, you know, because you deal with REOs, but the pipeline is thin right now. So what can they do to work with you guys more, your team?
Well, of course, you know, we're a top team. We sell everything, you know, so that's one of the things that you know is you can easily look that up about our team is that, you know, almost everything we um, get sold at some point. All right. Sometimes not always for the highest. Sometimes it might be a little under, but the market dictates all of that. But the one thing is that we stick with everything. We stick with our sales until it gets till things get sold. So that's just one part of it. Uh, other ways they can work with me is the one thing is that I'm getting calls every day. All right, every single day from people that are looking for REOs, looking for foreclosures. You know, the easiest thing to do is to, you know, send me your information, text me your information, and we will put you on a list. Usually when a property comes in that I know is for investors, I have my pool of investors in New Jersey. It's probably right in my phone. Actually, I have probably around 200 investors, or and some of them are so-called investors, but they get this information too. So, and I also have an investor list for New York as well. So the easiest thing is to get your information to me, because if something comes up, I will put that information out there. And as a matter of fact, I do have something coming up right now. I might as well bring that to your attention right now.
Well, I was gonna say, let's not do that to our attention right this second.
Okay.
I wanted to ask, can you give us a quick little, what type of strategy do you use to sell in these markets?
Okay, so it depends on how the property comes to us. So a lot of our properties, because of our clients that Vylla works with, a lot of those properties go to auction. That's why I've, you know, talked so much about auctions in the past, because it is a viable way to purchase foreclosure properties and REO properties. It's just you got to know what you're doing, basically.
Yeah.
But you know, but anything that goes to auction pretty much sells at some point. You know, so that's one strategy. We use the auction strategy, and in that the auction strategy works exactly the same as anything else. So I would put any property on the MLS. Now with me, I am a member of 7 MLSs in New Jersey, so that puts me all across the state. I'm also a member of 3 MLSs in New York, so that's 10 MLSs across the board. So the bandwidth is there. The bandwidth is there. So that's a part of my strategy, is that I can pretty much list the property anywhere. Another thing is that when we're dealing with bank properties, you have to be well versed in doing BPOs for them, broker price opinions. You know, so that kind of determines the pricing for the property before we put it on the market. A lot of times people will think, oh, well, you know, aren't you doing a BPO? Aren't you the one that determines the price? Well, usually there's a secondary BPO that's done at the same time. That secondary BPO, what the banks do and the clients do is they look at the two BPOs. 9 out of 10 times they're going to take the higher BPO. But the secondary BPO doesn't always have to be correct. But you know, so they're looking at the BPOs, and they also, if there was a previous appraisal done, they're looking at appraisals as well. So that's a part of the strategy. Even if I'm selling your property, so let's say you're an investor, you get a property, you fix it, and you want to resell it. So a part of that strategy is that, first of all, I'm well versed on both ends of it in dealing with REOs and foreclosures, as well as traditional sales. So once you fix a property, now it becomes a traditional sale, and that's a part of the strategy. So the strategy really comes down to helping you determine the pricing and where you need to be, and and sometimes it makes sense to price it more in a medium range or even on a lower range, and allow for the market to dictate where it needs to go.
Okay.
I've done that on several occasions too. But what I will do is I will sit down with anyone and we will develop a strategy on how to sell your property. We have all the goodies. This team has all,
That's what we were waiting to hear.
team has
Yeah.
all the goodies. We have our own site besides besides Vylla. So Vylla has Vylla.com, which is their site. My team has their own site besides Vylla. So any properties I put up will show up on Vylla. It'll show up on Vylla Team NJ, but it'll show up everywhere. It'll show up. It'll go to all the different Zillow, Redfin, everywhere that it needs to populate. It will populate because we have that kind of technology built right into our system. So you can't say that you're not getting that bandwidth everywhere, because you'll get that when you're working with my team. You'll definitely get that. But the number one thing is working out a strategy for every property is different, every market is different. And and the good thing is that because I've worked all across New Jersey and in New York, I have access to all markets. I could tell you what's going on in most markets, and I might not be able to tell you right at the drop of a dime, but I have access to be able to get all and gain all that information.
Right.
Beautiful.
That's part of the Vylla family, right? Because they're
It's a
national.
part of the Vylla family. It's a part of my team. I spend a lot of money on having access to everything,
That's important.
so
That's one of the best strategies.
That's why we like you guys being a vendor, because you're not just like everybody just says Vylla Home, they do REOs. It's like, no, you don't understand. I'm like, the team is awesome with their knowledge and experience and the tools. And like, you could talk to somebody at Remax and be like, yeah, can you get me information in Alabama? And I'll be like, yeah, no, I don't know. No, I can't do that. We talk to you and you'll be like, I'm going to reach out to my guy and I'll get that information for you. And we'll work something out.
And that's another thing, is that just Vylla itself is in over 50 states, with our main headquarters in California. So we're everywhere. We have offices everywhere or sub offices everywhere. We handle everything. That's one of the reasons why we say our slogan is home ownership made simple. Because the truth is that we have everything under one roof. You don't have to go outside of Vylla to get everything. We have all the loan solutions. We have the escrow solution. So we have and without confusion, we have all of that. We also have title and settlement, all with under one roof. So you can list with us. You could if you need a new property or have to buy a new property, you can get a loan. We could tie it all in. We handle the escrow, we handle the title, we handle everything from A to Z. So that's one of the key things about Vylla Home.
It is.
That helps a lot, having
A lot of
everything.
people don't know that. That's why we want to get you on a call.
They really don't.
Talk
You don't have to go out of the Vylla family, and there's special discounts for people that actually remain within the Vylla family. So if you use Vylla for title, or you use Vylla for the sale, there's a lot of special discounts that come to you for
That's good to
dealing
know.
with Vylla.
Good
Yeah,
to know. Everybody likes discounts.
Absolutely.
Especially when it comes to
Carrington-
thousands of dollars.
And Carrington Mortgage Services is one of the largest in the country. People
Awesome.
don't know that, you
So
know?
we got to get more information from you at our events because
Sure.
we don't have information on this stuff. That's why we want you guys to always be there and be at the table. So, all right. So to finish up, they can get a hold of you at villateamnj.com, right?
That's our team website, VyllaTeamNJ.com.
They can get you from cnjorig.com's website because we have
Exactly.
you there under the vendor slot. Come to our meetings. All our marketing, you're on all our marketing. So the links to you are on all our marketing. Is there anywhere else they can get a hold of you?
You can call me direct. 917-319-0304. So
Say
that
it again.
that number's all over. If you're an investor, that's a number for just. So when I was talking about texting me your information, just text me your information and I will put you in. Just make sure you let me know what areas you're looking for. If it's New Jersey, you don't care where it is, then that's fine. Just put New Jersey.
Okay. And what's your number again one more time?
917-319-0304.
Awesome.
Derrick Logan.
All right, Derrick. We appreciate your time and
absolutely. Thank you so
explanation of what
much.
you do.
Wait a minute. I have one property I want to
Okay.
put out there for you investors that it's coming soon, really coming
Okay.
soon. But I took possession of this the other day, like last. So hold on a second. I'm gonna give you that.
As you can see from Vylla, they have a whole community of resources.
Yep.
Exactly. Okay, so
That's some of the things that we like about it, and they're open,
Ease.
honest, and easy to work with.
yeah,
All right.
Got my property sold before I even finished final inspections. I'm just saying.
I'm just trying to get this address for you guys. I had it right here.
You have too many properties.
Yeah, but I created a folder just a few minutes ago on this one. So the address, and you guys keep this on your radar because it's coming, is 1 Richard Court in Manalapan, New Jersey.
Oh, that's our warehouse. We'll take it.
Yes.
1 Richard Court in Manalapan, New Jersey. So, you know,
Okay.
the price has not been set on it, but I will be setting the price shortly.
As
There are
soon
going
as
to be some
we're
repairs, huh?
all done, I'm going to take a drive-by.
All right. Okay, fantastic.
Okay. All right, Derrick. Thank you for your time, and we appreciate you being a vendor. And like we said, you can get in touch with Vylla Team New Jersey through cnjorig.com, through our meetups, through our marketing, and also villateamnewjersey.com. And then Derrick gave you his phone number, so be sure to reach out to him with where you're looking and give him your contact info so it could be in his database.
Absolutely.
All right. So we look forward to
Yep.
seeing you at the events, Derrick.
And I just texted
Absolutely.
you
And
the address.
don't make a move without us. That's what I say.
Definitely.
All right.
All right. We look forward to seeing you next week at the event. And until then, we'll talk soon.
All right.
Thanks
Peace,
again.
guys. Peace.
See you
Bye.
soon.